trade, most often than not, you feel misunderstood, you feel judged or ignored because people don't really understand the shit that we do. And that makes you feel like you have a chip on your shoulder, that you want to prove these people wrong or that you can't wait to put in the face once you make it. We all have had that thought as a trader, admit it or not. You see why I'm taking this? Ego, man. So like I mentioned in my last video, I talk about reading the book called Ego. So it's this book, Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. In the book, Ryan Holiday wrote, living clearly and presently takes courage. Don't live in the haze of the abstract. Live with the tangible and real, even if, especially if it is uncomfortable. Be part of what is going on around you. Feast on it and adjust for it. The ego is the identification of the self. It is deeply rooted in your conscious or subconscious mind. The problem is that ego is very self-preserving. It would literally blind you from reality just to make you feel good about yourself. It's ego. He has hurt my trading. He has hurt me with this journey as well when I was starting. And then it was part of some of the losses as well. And I think that's one of the factors that makes traders lose in the market, which is just how ego. I read this chapter called Get Out of Your Own Mind. The fact that we have two speakers in our head, one telling us how great we are and the other one reminding us how terrible we are. We get stuck in that mind, right? When you want to do something, either the negative one is dominant in the sense that it makes you doubt yourself. It makes you afraid to face the things that you don't know, or to face that, okay, I kind of suck at this and then I have to get better. Or the other one, which just makes you really arrogant and impossible to teach. So in a sense where you want to be malleable, you want to be humble enough to learn from someone else, someone who knows better. In the book, Brad already talk about 3 stages of life where we encounter ego. We encounter ego when we aspire to do something big. We encounter ego in our success, and we encounter ego in our failure. Ego when we aspire to do something big. To whatever you aspire, ego is your enemy. Here, we are setting out to do something. We have a goal, a calling, a new beginning. Every great journey begins here. Yet, far too many of us never reach our intended destination. Ego, more often than not, is the culprit. For example, in my case, I'm aspiring to get funded up to $1 million. And at the get-go, when I published the first video, when I took the first trade, when I bought that first challenge, ego was already there. Ego was me feeling good about myself, talking about the goal more than doing the work, in a sense that I was living in the fantasy of like, oh, once I get this done, I'm gonna buy a lot of stuff with the money that I will make, in a sense that I forget about the work which is silent, which is boring, waking up every single morning. I forgot about that. I was seeking approval from you all by looking at the views of the video, trying to count the likes, etc. However, the reason that I posted the journey to begin with wasn't that. It was for me to document something that was important and to inspire. And for a split second, I forgot that the result was in the trade, the desire to finish it as quickly as possible, just to show like, okay, look, I told you that I was gonna do this and I did it and I'm so great. Ego in success. To whatever success you have achieved, ego is the enemy. Here we are. At the top of a mountain we work hard to climb, or at least the summit is in sight. Now we face new temptation and problems. Why is success so ephemeral? Ego shortens it. We stop learning, we stop listening, and we lose our grasp on what matters. We become victim of ourselves and the competition. Sobriety, open-mindedness, organization, and purpose, these are the things that matters. But when we are successful, we tend to forget those things. When we are successful, we feel like, okay, we are too big to fall. And if you are a trader, you know that feeling. When you get your win streak, you are 10-0 in 1 week or in a month. You feel like you are invincible, you know whatever the market is going to do, and you start upping your risk. When you are taking trade, even if it's a sloppy trade, you will put on more risk than you were supposed to. because you become arrogant. You feel like, okay, I'm too big that I cannot fall. However, in trading, it takes seconds to lose everything that you have built. So not being able to control ego in those moments lead us to our ruin. And usually those fall because you're already high, and then you fall, it hits you harder. You are like, this can't be happening. This is not supposed to happen, but this is what it does. In trading, we see that on a day-to-day basis. When we are trading, when we are doing something, ego is there. If you are on a win streak, you need to remind yourself that you need to be humble. Maybe you got lucky with your trade. Revisit your strategy, reduce your risk, and get better, move forward. Those are things that I'm learning from this book, and it's inspired me to be better, to do better with my trade and my strategy. Because in our mind, admit it or not, every trader, the shit that we are doing, people don't understand it. When we talk about it, people don't really give a damn about it. It's like, oh, you're trading, are you making money? However, you are there trying to get better, to progress, to move forward, right? You're not getting that feedback that you want from people. Like, for example, if you say that, okay, I'm going to medicine school or something like that, but you know that it's a process of learning and failure. But we have to remember that this thing is ego, is us trying to prove ourselves, but you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. It's a process of learning that we are doing for ourselves. We have experienced it firsthand, and that's why we are moving forward and trying to get better in it. Just master the craft, just keep getting better. Let your ego go whenever you are in front of your chart. Don't do it for money, don't do it to show off in front of people. Do it because you want to master this skill, and then you know that once you do that, it will give you the financial freedom that you need to move forward, to build something bigger than yourself, to build a community, to help, to inspire, whatever that is. It has to be for the right cause, and usually our ego tends to corrupt that part of ourselves. Ego in failure. To whatever failure and challenges you will face, ego is your enemy. Here we are experiencing the trial endemic to any journey. Perhaps we have failed. Perhaps our goal turned out to be harder to achieve than anticipated. No one is permanently successful, and not everyone finds success on the first attempt. We all deal with setbacks along the way. Ego not only leaves us unprepared for these circumstances, it often contributed to their occurrence in the first place. The way to rise again, require a reorientation and increased self-awareness. We don't need pity, our own or anyone else. We need purpose, poise, and patience. In failure, ego is there. Ego is a bad speaker in the left ear. It's the serpent in the ear that is telling us that, you see, you're not good enough. You're not talented. You don't understand the market, and you are wrong. Stop whatever you are doing because you suck. You cannot get better. You're just talking, etc. This is ego whenever you are failing. Remember the videos I made after blowing my account? I told you that I thought about the stuff, that I thought about the idea of like, okay, I just gotta stop because I suck. And that's ego in this moment pushing me into a fixed mindset where it's like, oh, you are not just good at it, you are not just gifted. People that are gifted are doing better. You just can't do better, so you gotta stop. You gotta move back. You gotta stop whatever you are doing because you're embarrassing yourself, etc. This is ego. It is there when we are aspiring to become something bigger, when we are successful, and we lose our ability to be humble. And it is there when we are failing. It puts us in that fixed mindset where we forget that we can grow, that we can get better, that we can learn, that we can put in time, and we can be consistent to get the result that we want. This is what Ryan Holiday said about ego in failure. In an effort to defend our ego, we lose sight of what we have worked for and erode the progress we have made to this point. Now, the question is, how do we deal with ego? Ryan Holiday kind of broke it down in the book, which he gave the plus, minus, and equal method, which basically is saying that whenever you are aspiring to become something in life, or when you're aspiring to become a profitable trader, and trying to make a living in this industry, you have to find people that are equal. The level of skills that you have to find friends or people around you that trade, that have that same level that you can either compete against, where you will use them as a metric to compare yourself in terms of like how you have been trading, how you have been doing, and always trying to having that competition, friendly competition between you and them. Or you can use them as a motivation so that you don't quit because having them around and knowing that you guys have the same level of skill, understanding that the amount of work that they are putting, the success that they are gaining, you can do the same, and then you can strive for that same success. That you cannot be lazy, you got to keep pushing, you cannot quit, because you guys are on the same level, and then you just got to compete with them. If you move up, they compete with you, they move up, you guys move up together. As you reach success in your trading journey, the second method for dealing with your ego is that you need a certain dose of humility, because with success, we lose humility, we become arrogant, our ego take over, we beat our chest, etc. So we need we will need a dose of humility, and that dose of humility will come by remembering that there's always someone better than us, there's always something bigger than us, that this doesn't make us big, and we can always learn from someone, and we need to be humble in our success. This is a plus, having something plus greater than you, a mission that is greater than you, life greater than you, earth greater than you, the universe, God, if you are religious, whatever that is greater than you. It will keep you humble. And then the minus is that as you face failure, as a trader will always face failure, as you face failure, you'll need a minus, someone that is coming before you, someone that is not perhaps on the same level of skill, that you can pass whatever you have learned to. So it forces you to look objectively at your failure so that you can learn something from and transfer to the generation that is coming after, so that when they encounter that failure, they will not get hurt by it. Because you have gone through the failure, you learn from the failure, you teach them how to avoid that failure when they are coming. So when you are teaching trading to your children, to your parents, to your friends, you will have less time complaining about your failure, you have less time being down about the failures that you have had with your trading, because you have learned from them, and then you will teach them about those failures so that they don't make the same mistake that you made, to move forward, to gain skill and get better, right? So having the plus, minus, and equal method really help in terms of like keeping it together, having a little bit of control over your ego and being better. So this is all I got for you guys on ego. The book is a good book, it's a recommended read. Ego is the Enemy. I really love the book. I read it for the second time. I'm gonna read it another third time. And if you enjoy this type of content, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time, my friend, have a blessed day.